Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload, as you can tell by the title, we'll be talking about another potential storm system that will be making its way across the country. Now this one is definitely a bit more interesting and unique than what the ones we've been having, and is actually pretty strongly correlated with the previous system. Before we get into that, if you guys would like to subscribe to this channel, consider doing so. Obviously, don't just subscribe because I told you to. Check out the channel, watch the video, and see for yourself if you like it. I'm just reminding you, you can subscribe. It's free, and you could always unsubscribe. And if you are liking what you're seeing, consider pressing the thumbs up button, as that really helps out a lot. First off, before we get into the talk about the second storm, I want to quickly go over the snow amounts that occurred from the last storm system. And if you recall, it was a snowstorm, right? And you could see that it basically worked pretty much as well as forecasted. I mean, it really behaved as forecasted, and you can see there was several amounts up to 12, 17 inches right here south of Casper. There was an amount right there, 17 inches, but there's many locations over 6 inches and even some over a foot. And including yesterday's snowfall event, you could see there are some locations in Colorado that reached 1.5 feet, and you can see right there, there's like a little hot spot of over a foot, near 1.5 feet in southern Colorado. So really, it behaved as predicted. And it really still is a very impressive snowstorm, given the fact that much of these regions were in the 80s and 90s the day prior. So you can see the highest amount from the storm system reported is 18 inches. Doesn't mean that's the actual highest amount, but notice we got a little bit of snow across Kansas and into Nebraska as well. Look at that, 1 inch in Valentine, Nebraska. So that is definitely impressive. Nothing accumulated on the ground or sidewalks as expected, though. So let's get out of that and let's start talking about the storm system. So let's go to the MSLPN precip. Now, I had a tough time kind of deciding what to call this system. Was I going to continue calling it the, I guess, correlated with the previous system, or am I gonna call it a new system? I decided to call it a new system because it's gonna take on a characteristic of a whole new storm. So notice right now we still have precip across the United States, central United States. It is now pushing into much of Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana. It's gonna dwindle, really not much heavy rain. There is also a band of showers right now I saw on the radar across Texas. That's also gonna keep moving to the north, but really nothing too significant. Notice really tomorrow, it almost completely dies down, right? There's nothing significant, but watch this little spin right here. That's the system that came from the southwest and is now tracking slowly to the north and northeast. Notice, by Saturday, we see a resurgence of precip across Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois, and Kansas. And at this point, it really starts getting affected by another system up to the north. So let's get to the view of North America, because this is going to require a pretty large view. Notice we have a really weak system. It came on shore, and it just really is coming on shore as of right now. And really in northern British Columbia, almost in Yukon. So very, very, very far to the north. This thing continues to make its way to the south. And this is what's interesting. With its power that it has spinning counterclockwise like storms do, counterclockwise, we see that it picks up a lot of this precipitation that's just floating around here, and it consolidates it into more of a cold front. Now, at first it's disorganized, right? But you can see that as it pushes into late Saturday, early Sunday, we see precipitation continuing across Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, upper Michigan, and into the south. And as this gets into the wee or morning hours of Sunday, we see a very large area of precipitation possibly developing across much of Canada and into Michigan and New York, upstate New York, Pennsylvania. And you may be wondering, this isn't affecting a lot of the United States. You may be asking, well, it actually is. It's affecting a good portion. But also, besides that, I want to, include Southeast Canada in my forecast and just Southern Canada, because that's where most Canadians live, and just why not? I mean, it's so close to the U.S. It's not like, if anything, the weather stops outside of the border, right? So, if you live in Southern Canada, Toronto, Eastern Ontario, Western Quebec, you will be seeing rain by early Sunday morning. This pushes through, and you can see it affects a good portion of the Northeast, the Appalachian, and into the southern United States. Really, this is more of the tropical moisture, but it's still, you could see, kind of consolidating consolidates into a conglomerate of showers, and that's what we call a cold front, if you will. And then this storm sweeps off the coast on Monday and into Tuesday, and really, again, it affects lots of the Northeast. By late Monday, it's out of the United States, but it's affecting lots of the Nova Scotia, Labrador, Newfoundland, and extreme eastern and northeastern Quebec. So you can see right there. And this one is going to get pretty strong as it gets up there. So definitely some strong winds, wind gusts, and some sustained winds of up to 30 to 40 miles. Not sustained, sorry, gusts of winds up to 30 to 40 miles per hour are possible. And as this pushes up to the north, you can see it becomes more of a snowstorm kind of, but it was in Wyoming. But again, this is a completely new storm system as it combines energy with this storm and the original storm's precip from the south. And just in case you're wondering, after that, we look at much more active weather as well. It looks as if we could have almost a week of dryish weather across the Midwest, but you could see more storm systems come through, and how those behave is still a bit unknown. Let's take a look at another model to see what it does with this upcoming weekend system. So this one unfortunately doesn't have the North American view, but it is a bit further extended into southern Canada, the view. And it does cut off southeastern Canada, so I do apologize about that. But basically what it does is, again, has this Clipper-like system that came off of really southern Yukon and northern British Columbia, and now is taking its way to the south and southeast gradually. It picks up the moisture. You can see right there, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin seeing rain at this point late tomorrow into early Saturday. That's when it starts reamping itself. Then by really early Saturday, we see some thunderstorms developing. We see some snow across northern Manitoba as the system tracks just to the south of Hudson Bay, which is this large area of water at this point of the year. It is covered by ice in the wintertime. And notice that this by late Saturday, this kind of develops into a classic cold front. We could be looking at a bit of a concern for some stronger thunderstorms. I wouldn't say it's a severe risk, really, because they'll probably be scattered and they just don't have the support necessary, but definitely something to watch for. Notice as this pushes overnight into Sunday, the time frame, we see the cold front push into Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Tennessee, northern portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. This definitely is a bit more impressive than what the GFS is showing, right? So we'll definitely have to monitor this. It doesn't look like this will be extremely long-lived. It will come and go, basically. And notice that it does kick up a few showers across the southeast, but that's really, again, mainly to do with the tropical activity. But notice as it pushes on into late Sunday, we see Sunday afternoon, we see a large area of precipitation across southern Canada. So this is definitely going to affect your area. Those areas with the southern Canadian cities definitely going to get impacted by some rain. This looks to be a pretty widespread rain shield at this point, and you can see it also skims through the northeast as well. We'll have to watch how expansive this will be, because as of now the European isn't showing much rain, but that could still change. And then again, it moves off into southeastern Canada. You can see the isobars are packed, so definitely some strong wind is possible. And just to give you a little outlook into the future, you can see we have another little system that could, again, if it gets stronger, it could be a bit more of a concern. We see again just lots of showers and storms coming from the north, driven by a high pressure with cold air. We'll have to watch that. The European is now showing signs of another cool off late next week, around a week from now. It doesn't look like, it's not going to be 60 below Fahrenheit in terms of anomalies. It's probably going to cool things off by up to 20 degrees. That's still rather significant. And notice we have a storm system right here. We may have to watch for producing snow across Quebec and into western Ontario, and the cold front pushes off the east coast. So, and then we're left with a huge cool air mass, and I just want to quickly point that out because why not? Again, right now we are dealing with quite a bit cooler temperatures across the United States. That quickly gets eaten up by this weekend by warm temperatures. It's basically a warm temperature regime, a few areas of cooler weather, but generally warm up. And into the next week, it continues up until about Friday. We see that cool off. You can see in some of the anomalies may be a bit stronger than we even would expect. You can see 18, 17. That would definitely cool things off into a very pleasant range. And I just want to quickly show you this. You can see right there 50s during the daytimes. That's very pleasant. Maybe some frost across the mountains in the northeast. So definitely chilly. Weather could be on its way. But this week, I guess the next 7 days, look pretty warm on the warm side. Let's take a look at the total accumulated precipitation from the storm system. Let's stop it at around hour 126. Yeah, right here. you can see the heaviest rain will fall across the Midwest and southern Canada. I should correct myself. The heaviest rain will fall across the Midwest and southern Canada from that storm system, because we will see very heavy rain potentially across the southeast, but that's not really associated directly with that storm system, but definitely something to watch for as well. You could see some locations seeing 3 to 4 inches of rain. Peninsula of Florida really seeing a whole coverage, being the whole state covered in rain. We see South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee also seeing some of that precip. And then here we kind of get mixing in with that cold front. Wherever you get under a thunderstorm, you could quickly shoot up to, again, 1.5 inches, versus where you don't, it could be under 0.5 inch. But you could see the most consistent amounts of rain will be across Wisconsin, Iowa, and into southeastern Canada, where we could see 1 to 2 inches. A bit less across the northeast, unfortunately. Definitely a chance across, maybe further south towards Boston and Rhode Island. But that's just the European model. Let's take a quick look at the GFS model and see what it's showing in terms of precipitation out around 132 hours. That's when it's pretty much over with. You could see the southeast getting quite a bit. The Midwest, though, definitely sees a little bit as well. And the GFS, kind of similar to the European, keeps it out of the northeast. But we'll have to see. That may yet change. But at this point, it looks, this isn't a giant rain event, but definitely a storm system that will be developing, and will be very big in terms of expansion. It will cover a large area. It won't necessarily be the strongest storm system we've seen. Looking at the NAM model, this goes out to 84 hours. It is a bit delayed with its latest model run, though you could see generally the same story. Heaviest amounts across really the Quad Cities in western Illinois, northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, northern Missouri, southern Wisconsin, and into southern Canada. So yeah, that's basically it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.